Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Golden Reviewer. So here I have the 2021 M1 iPad Pro, 12.9 inch on the left and 11 inch on the right. They are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. They are set to the same brightness. You see the bar is shorter on the 12.9 inch. That's because the maximum brightness on that device is higher than that on the 11 inch. But I tried my best to set them to the visually same brightness. No background apps running, and today we are going to do a proper battery life comparison between these two devices. I know many of you are wondering, the 12.9 inch has a larger battery, but it also has a bigger display and a brighter display, right? So today we are going to do a controlled test and tell you which one has the better battery life, and if you are deciding between this one, this might be helpful for you. And the very first test we are going to do is YouTube playback. Okay, so I'll just go to one of my playlists and play the videos from my channel. This test is rather light load, right? So we'll do it for about 2 hours, and after 2 hours we'll check the battery percentage and see how well they do. Alright guys, so let's start the YouTube playback test. Okay, it has been exactly 2 hours, and let's check the battery percentage left. Okay, so on the 12.9 inch, we are at 84% battery. That's 16% for 2 hours of YouTube playback. But one thing to note here is that the first 1% battery on Apple devices are always more durable than the rest, right? And then on the 11-inch version, we are at 80% battery, so that's 20% for 2 hours of YouTube playback. So far, the 12.9 inch is performing a little bit better, and we'll move on to our next test, which is web browsing test. I'll use this tool that helps me to refresh the page every 5 seconds. And let's use YouTube and GSM Arena for this web browsing test. And this web browsing test will last for 1 hour. Alright, let's go. Alright guys, now we've done 1 hour constant web browsing on both devices, and let's check the remaining battery. On the 11-inch iPad Pro, we are at 59%. That is 21% battery for 1 hour of web browsing. And on the 12.9 inch, we are at 64%. That's 22% of battery for 1 hour of web browsing. And next, we'll move on to a standby test. We'll actually leave these devices idle there without any background apps and connected to the same Wi-Fi network for about 6 to 7 hours and see how they drain the battery while standing by. Okay, now it's almost after 7 hours and we are back with the battery life test. We see that both devices lose about 2% of battery during the 7-hour standby test. This will give you a standby time of about 10 days plus, which I think is quite good. Okay, next, let's move on to a heavy gaming test. We'll use Genshin Impact here. We'll play the game with maxed out graphics for 1 hour on each of these two devices and see how much the battery drains. Apparently, I cannot play at the same time on two devices, so I'll actually switch back and forth, but I will try to control the total playtime on each device about the same. And while not playing on that device will just sit idle and just looking at the map. So there is still some load, it's still rendering the game, right? The game is still running, it's just I'm not playing. And this test will last for 1 hour. It will be quite heavy. I expect the battery to suffer a lot in this test. And let's go and check out the results. Alright guys, that's 1 hour of Genshin Impact with maxed out graphics on these two iPads. And battery on the 12.9 inch iPad Pro dropped 32% to 30% from 62%. while the 11-inch iPad Pro dropped 36% from 57 to 21. So we should be expecting about 3 hours of gameplay time on the 12.9-inch, while slightly below 3 hours on the 11. Okay, lastly, let's do a 4K 60 FPS recording test on these two devices. I plan to run the test for 1 hour, but I highly suspect that the 11-inch will not be able to last 1 hour. So anyway, we'll run until the 11-inch dies, and we'll see how much battery left on the 12.9-inch by then. Okay, let's go. Okay guys, so that's after about 55 minutes of 4K 60 video recording, and the iPad Pro 11-inch officially runs out of battery. And we still have about 10% of battery left on the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. So we have a winner here. The iPad Pro 12.9-inch wins in this battery life comparison. Although the difference is not that much, it's only about 10% battery left while the 11-inch has died. But I guess that extra little bit of juice might mean something for some of you. And here is the overall result. I have to say that neither of them provide amazing battery life. I was honestly expecting a little bit more from these devices because iPad was known for their good battery life. But maybe this generation, the M1 processor is just way too powerful and way too power hungry. Just look at the 1 hour gaming, right? Almost used up 1/3 of battery from these devices. And on the other hand, I think, well, if you are just watching video or just doing some light task, the battery life might be a little bit better. But if you are doing heavy task or heavy gaming, you definitely need to pay attention to the battery life, and it might not be as good as you think. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's all for today's video. If you find this helpful, please give me a thumb up and share this to your friends or your community. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Alright guys, thanks again for watching, and see you next time.